Is it stream time already? It is. Hello, Garrett. So let's review. We were partway through the trial. There was a break because they were going to do something or other. Greater than or equal to, I suppose. Don't actually. I mean, start time. Start time is such a nebulous concept. DNE does not exist. That's what they call it in calculators. So, Professor Harebrained is claiming that his teleportation machine actually works, which we're sure that it doesn't. The latest thing that happened is they were like, oh, you stabbed him with this screwdriver, and you left the screwdriver in the wound, and that's why there isn't blood all over the place on the teleport pad. And then they were like, oh, and you beamed him over, and he didn't bleed until he got there. And they're like, no. The teleporter doesn't teleport metal. Patrick's Parabox just came out, and I think is a nice He 10 puzzle game. Ooh, I shall look into it then. And hey, Serp. I did just see that the Stanley Parable Deluxe Edition has a release date now, April 27th. I'm undecided on whether to, because I don't know how much of a deluxe edition it is, right? I don't know how, like, the original Stanley Parable is a pretty small game, you know? Like, you're going to find almost all of the endings within, like, 2 hours. So I don't know if this is going to be much larger or if it's going to be much more fun. Like, I feel like the Stanley Parable already made its point, right? It could still be fun, but I don't know if it's fun enough that I want to purchase it and stream it. And then also, streaming it is like, okay, you're really going to day one play a Stanley Parable type game and have a billion people from chat, go to the left, go in the thing, go in the, make sure you click on the thing, to hold control and just F5 on your keyboard. That even with moderation, it would just be annoying, I think. No, back to this, though. The latest thing that we had figured out is we were like, oh, the screwdriver would have still been in him. And our own client is arguing against us that, oh, no, the teleporter can't teleport metal. And then the very last thing that happened is we pointed out that the guy still has his glasses on. And then we took a break for some reason. And now we're back. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby reconvene the proceedings of this court. Counsels for the defense and prosecution, are you ready for the new witnesses to testify? Oh, that's right, they said there are eyewitnesses who are going to claim, oh yeah, we saw him stab the guy. The prosecution is ready, my lord. As is the defense, my lord. So, Lord Von Zeeks, I believe these next witnesses saw the demonstration on the day in question with their own eyes. Indeed they did, and as luck would have it, one of them is a police detective. So the testimony we are about to hear can be considered highly reliable. Perfect, a detective of all people. The prosecution's stance remains unchanged. Though it ended in tragedy, the demonstration on the day in question was scientifically sound. And consequently, the sole person with the opportunity to have committed this act of murder. I'm losing it. How am I losing his accent? Is the only individual to have been present on the stage at the time, the accused. Thank you, counsel. The prosecution's position is clear. So bring forth your witness now. Bailiff, show the witnesses in. The witnesses whose proximity to the incident On the day in question, we'll clarify the truth unequivocally. Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be silly people, but it's not. Oh, you know what else, sir? That Texas German thing I linked to you the other day, I was like, afterward, I went and watched it. I'm like, this isn't the one I was thinking of. Because I must have watched a couple different videos, and for some reason, as I was going through the history, I was just like, oh, there it is. But, I mean, basically, you got the idea, though. That there was another, like, video by an actual linguist talking about, you know, the history of, is it Fredericksburg, Texas? Where, you know, the German population settled, and then, you know, this and that. Because he was specifically talking about a word which I guess is not standard German, because they may, who knows if they have skunks or not in Germany, but in Fredericksburg, in German, you call it Stinkkatz. That it's, you know, I guess a word specific to, you know, that dialect of German. Witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court to hear. Now, the last time we had any kind of circus people in Phoenix Wright, it was the absolute worst. Is this going to be any better? You saw that on Wikipedia. Cool. My name is Balthasar Loon. I am the impresario of all the hot air balloons in vicinity in the experimental stage. But we already have one German. I can't do two German accents. Wait, Ormstead, isn't that a Dark Souls guy? That's totally a Dark Souls guy. My name is Wilhelm Gottfried Sigismund Ormstein. I have come. Why did they like? Watch, we're gonna do this, and he's gonna be like, "Oh no, I live here in England, and I don't have a German accent." Like they're gonna pull the rug out from under me again. Also, what's wrong with your head? Why do you have were you hit in the head with something? I see. Maybe he's only speaking in a German accent because of brain damage. No wait, Bohemia. But Bohemia is located in silently typing. It's Czechoslovakia. Czech Republic. Yeah, there we go. I can't even do one, but that doesn't stop me. I have come to see the great exhibition from all the way in my home in Bohemia. Sean! I'm very rich. Inspector Jane Lestrade, Scotland Yard. I'm a great detective, even Sherlock Holmes agrees. I was on security duty at the exhibition, and I got to go up in one of them balloons. It was amazing. Gina, again. But she did mention that she'd seen the disaster from up in a balloon, actually, didn't she? And she clearly loved every minute of it. There were three balloons flying near the public experimentation stage when the incident occurred. Two of these witnesses were in one such balloon at the time, and saw events unfold from the skies above. You make it sound like they were in the clouds. It was only in altitude, circa 60 feet, very low. Well, you can't see nothing if you fry too high, can you? 60 feet, about 18 metries. Thank you for your introductions. Now, you will give your formal testimony for the court. Kindly describe exactly what you witnessed, especially those of you who had a vantage point above the stage. Why do we do witnesses multiples at a time now? Like, isn't this a little silly? Is there any reason that we couldn't just go, okay, you talk first, and then we'll cross-examine you, and then you can have your turn? Blind Umpire is here. Hello. There is a tiny bohemian child with a balloon. He's going to talk to us. Oh, okay. Alright, the generic European accent, I see. It was an incidente terrible. I am only grateful that my balloons were not damaged. Oh, also your hat is on fire. I want to get that checked out. Go to the balloon doctor. There's this huge bang from the stage, and then in the next second, another bang in the sky besides us. How would there be contradictions and sweating reactions with serial testimony? And from amidst the smoke, a cage appeared out of nowhere. The cage, it fell from the sky like a stone and crashed into the crystal tower. I didn't get a good look inside the cage, but no one went near it after it crashed into the tower. None of this has anything to do with my client stabbing a man. Just want to throw that out there. A most extraordinary collective account, I must say. Could I just clarify something? There's a detail in the witness's testimony that I've not heard any mention of until now. Specifically that there were 2 explosions? More precisely, 2 explosions! You have to say it like that. In 2 separate places. When the demonstration began, the balloon carrying the 2 witnesses was around here. There were other balloons in the air nearby at the time, carrying other passengers as well, to be clear. Then, as power was supplied to the machine for the demonstration, the first explosion occurred. The so-called bird cage that contained the victim disappeared from the stage, and a moment later, the second explosion occurred, directly adjacent to the balloon carrying the witnesses. The birdcage appeared at the site of the explosion, subsequently to plummet down into the crystal tower. I was very surprised. Suddenly a cage appeared before my eyes with a person inside. Well, find somebody tall. Find somebody tall who can jump, or find a ladder, or find a step ladder. The blast was so hot, but I didn't want to miss a thing, so I kept my eyes wide. I still have lots of money. Precisely who is this curious infant? He told you his whole name. I'm told he is a young noble of Bohemian royalty. Apparently, he disguised himself in order to steal unnoticed into the great exhibition. Yeah, I am here in London on a sightseeing trip with my elementary school. My kindergarten. We will have the benefit of a child's point of view in the testimony. Really need that? When I remove my mask, this is what I look like. Ah yes, I see. A delightful face, I'm sure. Yeah, everybody says so. Great disguise, then. The point is, the testimony of these witnesses further substantiates the facts for the court. Namely, that despite ending in an explosion, instantaneous kinesis was successfully demonstrated. And furthermore, that until the arrival of the police, no one approached the crystal tower where the victim fell. Therefore, only the accused who was with Mr. Asman on the stage could possibly have committed the murder. Yes, thank you, counsel. The prosecution's views on the matter are quite clear. So the defense's cross-examination now, please. Yes, my lord. So are we going to say, or are we going to jump straight to, it doesn't matter if nobody went near him, someone could have shot him with a crossbow. Huge bang from the stage and a huge bang from the sky next to us. So you actually saw the accident happen from up in the air? Yup. Ain't it amazing what a detective gets to do, eh? I'm telling you, Otto, being it all is a mugs game, you should join the force and we can go flying together. You know me so well. Yes, well, anyway, could you tell us exactly what you saw, do you think? Everything. We saw everything, because we was up above it all. That dodgy cove climbing into the cage, and that dodgy professor pulling on them levers. And that's when it happened. That's when there was a massive bang and the cage disappeared, just like that. You're describing the moment the subject's body was decomposed by the electricity, I believe. I didn't know what to make of it. But then there was another bang right in my ear. I looked round and there was a huge great fireball right next to us in the sky, and there was nothing there before. Excuse me, small Bolivian child. Bohemian. Bolivia is the capital of Bohemia, I believe. Master Gotts, does your memory of the day differ? My teacher at kindergarten said that when you meet someone for the first time, you should always use their full name. Are we gonna have a Donald Dampfschifffahrtsgesellschaft Kapitän moment? Like in the Leighton game? Oh, what was his actual name? I don't know. I don't think I ever said it. What a great memory. Yes. What was it again? Wilhelm Gottfried Sigismund Ormstein. Just the four names, then? The point is, do you have something to say? Something to add in response to Detective Gina Lestrade's last remark, perhaps? Oi, get it right, Otto. It's Inspector Lestrade. Why does everyone have a problem with how I address them at the moment? That is not what I saw. Oh? Yeah. That was the second explosion, and it was right next to our balloon. That is true. But I'm sure... Which is what I said, innit? 1 minute there was nothing there, and the next a massive explosion. My teacher at kindergarten said that when someone else is speaking, if they are rude enough to interrupt, you would have the most awful life imaginable. Are all Bolivians brought up to be so full of joy? Just before the second explosion happened near our balloon, I clearly witnessed a green balloon flying in the sky. A green balloon? You what? I never saw nothing like that. When I did, I saw it, and you can't say I didn't. I will complain to the consul. I will scream and cry. My testimony is the truth. The truth. I am Bohemian Prince. You cannot say it is a lie. That is not allowed. Playing the bleeding royalty card, are you? Typical. Says the orphan who likes to remind people she works for Her Majesty's police. Wow. Just calling her an orphan behind her back, huh? As a pejorative? It's not very nice of us. In that case, young man, I must ask you to amend your formal testimony. In the interest of cordial national relationships between Great Britain and Bohemia, It was not the skies that exploded. It was a green balloon that was next to ours at the time. At the time. A green balloon, you say? Are you sure about that? Of course I'm sure. I am a proud Bohemian prince. All these questions are making me boring. I think you mean bored. Ach! English is very annoying. The language of my countrymen is far superior. Ragazzo, it is very wrong to lie. Lie? Flying balloons never explode. For the same reason the planets never explode. It is illogical. Please tell me that doesn't mean lodge. What? Of course it does. If you insult me, you insult all of Bohemia. Madai. I will have the army oh my goodness! Invasion? Europe is such a violent place. I will have the army come and shoot all your stupid balloons out of the sky. All of them. Here you are, Your Highness. If only all international incidents were so easily resolved. Now that peaceful relations have been restored here in the courtroom, perhaps we could return to the testimony. Did you also see the moment that the cage materialized, Mr. Boone? No, I did not see the explosion for myself, however. So, are we going to present the scrap of rubber that we found on the ground? It is green, but that doesn't contradict anything. Maybe we just have to press on everything? I shouldn't be too hasty. Let's press on everything. Because it seems relevant, but it's clearly not a contradiction, so... Did you actually see that happen? No, in reality I did not. I saw after it hit the tower. There was a grand confusion around the stage. I ran to see what had happened. I was terrorized by the idea that one of my balloons had a crash. I suppose they are his livelihood. But when I look up in the sky, all of my precious balloons were still there. I saw it though. I saw it slam into the tower. After all, I am a detective now. Then tell us what you saw, Inspector Lestrade. That's what I like to hear. Was it you who gave the order to keep people away? Eh? Use your head, Otto. How could it have been me? I was up in a balloon, weren't I? Right. So, 'cause I wasn't available, was the boss who had to leg it over there? He was getting shoved and kicked all over by panicking spectators as he tried to seal off the scene. It was a real sight to behold, I can tell you. Amazing. Poor Inspector Gregson. So, anyway, I couldn't see the stage that well because of all the smoke. And I didn't really want to see, to be honest. I was scared out of my wits. Keep it together, Inspector. The prosecution really is asserting that the demonstration was genuine, but what if it was actually some kind of switch-around trick? A ruse? A mere flummox? That would mean that the victim was never actually on the stage in the first place. Alright, have a good lurk, Serp. I am. It's what I do best. The two explosions would have thrown everyone watching into a panic for sure. I think I need to find out more about what exactly people saw at the time. So that may even be a hint to just keep pressing. don't present anything yet. There were 3 balloons flying above the experimentation stage at the time, I understand. Si, all 3 of them, my bellissima bambini. They're very popular, senor. Many people pay £10 for one ride. £10? That's more than my annual stipend. £20 a month, that is my pocket money. Royals have all the luck. I got up there for free, I did play the old I work for Her Majesty's police card, you know. Detectives have all the luck. If they're so popular, why would you only be operating such a small number of balloons, though? Because if I have too many in the skies, I could crash into each other. The operators for the balloons were decided by lots, with each operator manning a particular area. Oh no. The Italians are invading Transylvania, and it's affecting his accent. See, and the zone above public experimentation stage is the most profitable. The other impresarios, they hate me. Thank you, witness. I think the court has a clear picture of the arrangements for balloon rides at the exhibition. Perhaps we could hear more about what you actually witnessed of the incident. Right, I can fill you in there, my lord. So I already pressed on that. And I pressed on that. I don't think I pressed it. Did you see that actually happen? Oh, wait. Nope, no, I did press on this. So if that's everything, let me try...
Objection!
Nope. Bryant overruled. What else do I have? Got my armband. I got a newspaper that says Crystal Tower on one side, Reaper attacked on the other. Got an experiment. This sketch shows 2 balloons instead of 3. Is that gonna be it? We have a crossbow. Green cloth. Canvas-like material backed with rubber. Photograph of the victim who has been stabbed, and there are shards of crystal or glass. Autopsy report that says wound to the chest pierced the heart, inflicted by a sharp implement, and a broken vertebra from a fall from considerable height. And then a screwdriver with a distinctive handle that has blood on it. And that's it. But there's nobody here who says there were only 2 balloons. I mean that there were 3 balloons when there were actually 2. So he says there were 3 balloons, but that's in here. It doesn't count. I didn't get to see all of this testimony. Maybe after this, maybe this is something where I actually wasn't supposed to have him interrupt. Let's see. Right on my ear. I looked down, and there was a huge great fireball right next to us in the sky, and there was nothing there before. And what appears out of the flames? The cage, that's what. And that description sounds like the moment after the man was beamed instantaneously through space. It's mind-blowing, isn't it? But that's the 20th century for you, I reckon. So the people who actually saw the demonstration with their own eyes really believe they saw something miraculous taking place. Yeah. We have so many Germans here, why aren't they all singing their national anthem? 99 Luft... I tried to say it. I've never failed to say something before in my life, but I failed to say it. 99 Luftballons. Auf 99 Luftballons. Ba, 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 ba. Kriegsminister gibt's nicht schneller und auf keine Düsenflieger heizt ziemlich schnell. So we're talking about balloons exploding. Buys a balloon. I like how I'm still claiming that there's 2 Germans, when in fact there are 0 Germans. There's one Bohemian, and there's one Englishman who visited Germany briefly. Yes, we saw this too. Okay, so... Number 1 in the UK the day you were born. Oh, have I ever looked up what was number 1 the day I was born? I'll do it right now. Is the site broken or something? Reunited. Peaches and Herb. Or Herb. The number 1 movie? Was it Star Wars? No. Oh! He's like, I'm so great. What a weird thing. Well, I didn't mean to press. I meant to present. So we're going to contradict him on saying, at least my balloons weren't damaged. And we're going to be like, no, no, no. One of your balloons did explode. You liar. Objection. It was Jaws. Okay, that's easy to remember. A very popular movie. Mr. Loon, in your testimony, you said that all 3 of the balloons you had operating at the time were undamaged. See, that is correct. If they had been caught in the explosion, it would have been terrible. I wonder if you might know what this is? I think it may be, a part of a balloon. A burnt piece of the fabric of the envelope. Sorry, the envelope? Pardon, that is the large round part of the balloon, which becomes filled with hot air. Not putting a lot of effort into this. It is made from a very thick fabric lined with rubber. You do not want to rip when you are in the sky. Just as I thought. This piece of cloth was found near the experimentation stage. In other words, as Master Gotts testified, a green balloon did indeed explode that day. Eh? If all the balloons in the sky above the experimentation stage belong to you, Mr. Loon, then your statement that they were all undamaged clearly contradicts the evidence. No! Oh. Wow, that was a nice point. I got all of his balloons with one shot. If a balloon exploded that day, what did they say? Said, everybody on board was killed. Oh no, I haven't just spent 10 pounds for the experience. How awful. Seems to me like those things crash 50% of the time anyway. That's not how you math. The instantaneous kinesis did occur, but after the explosion on the stage, the point of materialization shifted to a location occupied by a balloon. Have you ever played the... Wait. How did he get to Italy again? We need stronger border control. Causing the balloon to explode? Yes, eminently plausible. An unfortunate traffic accident, as it were, but it changes nothing about the pertinent facts. Arisa cannot accept. Fucking why not? You are suggesting I am a liar, that the persons died in a balloon incident. There is no need to get fired up, Mr. Loon. Oh wait, is his name like Balloon? Did I miss that? Is his name like Hot Air Balloon? Hoterba? Is that you? Okay, it's Bal for short. Bal Loon. The victim was the sole fatality that day. Oh, that's right, and I approve it. A Balthazar Loon is not a liar. There was no such a balloon in the sky. It is not possible. You're saying it's impossible? Why? This court has more important matters to discuss than the number of balloons that were operating that day and the number of people who died tragically in a hot air balloon explosion. That does seem important. Let's not gloss.
Objection.
But we can't ignore the fact that nobody appears to have known anything about this other balloon until now. My lord. The defense calls for further testimony from Mr. Loon. I concur. There is clearly more to the truth here than meets the eye. It's imperative that we clear up the issue of this quantum balloon. No. Phantom balloon, I feel. Witness, you will give supplementary testimony about the balloons you are operating at the exhibition. Grazie. Oh, no, there you go. I should have given him Brad Pitt's voice. Grazie. What's the other word he says? Arrivederci? No. What does he say? It's been a long time since I saw Inglourious Bastards. Buongiorno. That's it. Buongiorno. As I said, Balthazar Loon is no liar. Every balloon I had in the sky I landed safely. All 3 of my balloons were carrying passengers. If they fell to the ground in an explosion, what a catastrophe. Never seen it? It was good. I'm pretty sure I've seen every Tarantino movie. Are there any I might have missed? I don't remember Jackie Brown. Because I only saw that once, and I kind of don't remember anything about it. But you can't get away with the fact that a burnt up bit of cloth was found at the scene, can you? The coppers at the yard reckon it was probably some debris thrown from the explosion on the stage. This stupido ragazzo rigatoni fettuccine is a mistaken. My balloons have a red and a blue zigzag stripes anyway. Do they? So your assertion is that the balloon this child saw was not one belonging to you? Si, exactamente, if he even saw a balloon in the first place. I do not like the sound of it. It is a very bad for business. I have a good mind to sue the... Uh-oh. We're getting another international incident already. I have a good mind... I like how you sue the country. You sue the entire country because a 6-year-old from their country told a lie. I have a good mind to sue the land of Bohemia. If you attack us, we will fight back. It will be war. All-out war. What happened to all-out war? Mr. Loon certainly doesn't appear to be lying. But that doesn't change the fact that the testimony and evidence are contradictory here. If the defense is unable to find fault with the witnesses' statements, the court must consider them the truth. Think long and hard on that, my learned friend. The situation has clearly changed now. I have to get to the bottom of what happened here, no matter what it takes. Counsel, you may now cross-examine the witnesses. So do we have... Do these show the zigzags on the balloon? They don't show zigzags, but they kinda don't count. The line about them having red and blue zigzags is so specific that I wonder if we're going to get information from someone else. So we'll have to press on everything. You couldn't just have forgotten one, maybe? Signore! I might not notice if I was given 100 lentils and the one was missing. But we are talking about 3 enormous balloons. Do you believe I could make a mistake about something so grand and expensive? I took the liberty of counting all of his lentils. There were 100 lentils! I also took the liberty of having Inspector Gregson check this gentleman's warehouse. I have the report here. It clearly says a total of 3 balloons. It would appear no mistake has been made then. Surely Miss Lestrade could have been sent for such a menial task. What, me? I tell you what I told the boss. He said kids like me can only count up to 2. Obviously that ain't true, but the boss bought it and said he'd have to go himself in that case.
Hold it!
It would be quite a catastrophe if they fell to the ground for any reason, I think. On that note, Mr. Loon, tell me, what is it that keeps these balloons in the sky? Are you an idiot? Yeah, I am. It is like asking why does a candle burn bright? It burns bright because it burns bright, and the balloon flies because it flies, or what else? Must be Italian for I don't know. Alright, well then magnets, how do they work? There are two types of flying balloons. Hot air balloons and gas balloons. Hot air balloons work on the principle of hot air being less dense than cold air, whereas gas balloons derive their lift using a gas that is lighter than air. That seems a little bit circular. That's a little circular reasoning. I don't know about that. They go up because the gas is lighter. They go up because of buoyancy, I guess. That's the force that would... Because it pushes a balloon up, right? The air... I don't know. Also that. Unlike a gas balloon, we put air in these balloons. I mean, unlike a... No. Wait. Never mind. See, and my balloons are filled with the magic. Get what? Wait, what? When did we get magic in here? My balloons are filled with the magical gas, I believe. Hydrogen. Lighter than air, but highly explosive. Oh, he's talking about his balloons that he has in the courtroom. Good lord! I do not permit the smoking of cigarettes in my balloons, or the magic gas does not like a fire. Now wait, what is he talking about? Did I get mixed up here? Are they hot air balloons or no? He's saying there's two types of balloons, hot air balloons and gas balloons. And he's like, yep, and mine are gas balloons, not hot air balloons. Even though his hat is a hot air hat. Even a small spark of static electricity could cause the entire balloon to explode. Oh, the humanity. What is the matter with you, signore? All that comes out of your mouth is explosion, explosion. I tell you, my balloons are perfectly safe, and they have to be, or I cannot eat the meatball. None of my balloons exploded that day, I'm completely sure. But if you still say that's what happened, you must show me proof. Alright, so Mr. Loon had 3 balloons in the air that day. If none of them were damaged, then what was the one that exploded? I was surprised to find the piece of fabric still at the scene, actually. Didn't you search the area surrounding the stage for clues? Nah, I'm not into picking stuff up off the ground, me. Always works out better diving into people's pockets instead. So much for the new career path. Mind you, the boss is on his hands and knees picking up all kinds of rubbish from the floor. Thing is, though, the cage went crashing into the Crystal Tower, didn't it? So that's where most of the investigating was going on. Even so, I would have thought someone from Scotland Yard would have picked it up, gathered it up as evidence. Cool, listen to you. You stumble across a bit of balloon and suddenly you're the best investigator in the world. Pardon? Well, you ain't got a badge, have you? Like this one. I could arrest you with this if I wanted. Wouldn't put it past her. Come to think of it, there was talk of some scorching on the ground at a meeting we had about the investigation.
Hold it!
There was considerable damage to the stage and surrounding area, wasn't there? Yeah, some of the coves what were watching the experiment were caught in a blast and injured. Good job the old contraption didn't KO over, eh? I hadn't even considered that. It seems there was great panic after the incident occurred. Nevertheless, the police shouldn't have missed a torn piece of the envelope of the balloon. Inspector Gregson can expect repercussions. Like me swiping all his fishing ships, eh? The man's sole pleasure. I thought it was haddock, not sole. I lied. I don't know what type of fish it is. None of this matters. That a scrap of the balloon envelope means nothing in the end. Red and blue zigzag stripes. He also does like tea. And thanks you if you give him some. You mean the color is wrong? Si, senor. I do not have any green balloons in my warehouse. And yet, a piece of green cloth was found at the scene, and it's unmistakably from a balloon. Well, I do not know how that can be. For the sake of argument, let's say that the green balloon did explode above the stage. You couldn't therefore conclude it happened on the day in question. Why not? There have been recreational balloon flights over Hyde Park operating from before the Great Exhibition. One could have exploded on some earlier date. Unfortunate, as I'm sure you'd agree. You believe it may have been from some earlier balloon accident that predates the exhibition? Si, exactamente, as the signor says. It is not from one of my balloons. Clearly, this little ragazzo from Bohemia is mistaken about what he saw. Did I try turning this over? Is it purple or whatever on the other side? No, it is not. Let me check it out. Layers of thick canvas with a thick rubber lining. Never seen anything like it before. But applying Mr. Sholmes' methods, you might deduce part of a raincoat worn by someone who really, really didn't want to get wet. Charring must have occurred when the person was struck by lightning. Maybe not.
Excuse me.
Is something wrong, Master Gotts? It's Master Wilhelm Gottfried Sigismund Ormstein. It was on the tip of my tongue. Yeah, something is very wrong. I know what I saw. There was a green balloon there. I swear it, all over Bohemia. You can speak as much bad language as you like, but that changes nothing. If you don't have evidence, ragazzo, I must tell your parents to punish you. Perhaps we'll let the judge decide when it comes to punishments. Evidence? What is this evidence? Shoko, shoko, shoko! I'll tell you in Japanese. It's clearly your native tongue. To give you a simple example, young man, a photograph, for instance, some tangible proof of what you claim. Well, why didn't you say so sooner? I have the photograph here. Good gracious! What? I had not been up in a balloon for a little while, so I was very excited. I took lots and lots of photographs. Oh, we can put one in each of our eyeballs and see them in 3D. Of the Crystal Tower, of the Bohemian exhibit, of the streets of London, of the hot eel cellar, the balloon. And the instantaneous kinesis experiment? Did you take a picture of that? Yeah, one picture. Really? You did take one? But all I wanted was a ride in a balloon. I was not interested in boring experiments. Never mind that. Can you show us that photograph? We'll have to develop it first. It's going to take like a whole day. Of course, and then you will see. You will see that I'm not lying. That I really did see a green balloon. Color photograph? Yeah, it doesn't exist. No such thing. Well, I see you're too shocked to speak. Is it raining? I think that's rain. Or hail. Yes, I think shocked is indeed the word, young man. Yeah, perhaps you cannot see that it was a green balloon from this photograph, but... But that is not my fault. That is the fault of the stupid person who made the camera. Wow, with umlauts. Is that... Does that A sound like a crying child? I don't even know. I don't know. There's one very bohemian sounding cry. Very well, this court will accept the photograph as evidence. A photograph taken by Gotts. Let's call him Gotti. Whilst he was riding in a balloon, it shows another balloon that he claims was green and exploded moments after he took this shot. What else do we see in that picture? Alright, so we see steam coming out of the device. The teleportation device. We see the guy in there, or a guy in there. And we see a lance of light issuing from the crowd, it looks like. That's not coming from the platform. And there's no one in the balloon. Huh. So that makes me think that the guy's body, having already been stabbed, is inside the balloon. And somebody shot... I mean, is that supposed to be a crossbow bolt? Shot a crossbow bolt, popping the balloon, dumping the body into the crystal tower. Does that mean that they also rigged the machine to explode? Huh. It's not my fault. It's the fault of the person who made the camera. Well, never mind. I'm sure you have plenty of wonderful sepia memories to take home with you. In any case, when exactly did you take that photograph? Well, it was on the day of the big explosion. You don't say. When I pressed the shutter release, there was this very loud bang, and a hot wind rushed over my face. That means... this photograph was taken a split second before the explosion occurred. Well, if you ask me, this black and white photograph changes nothing. I could not give it a flying fig. Oh, lovely language you picked up. As I thought, Mr. Loon's testimony just doesn't quite add up. The young Bohemian boy claims to have seen another fourth balloon, but Mr. Loon vehemently denies the possibility. And it's hard to imagine the man in charge could be mistaken about the number that were in the air. Still, this inconsistency must tell us something, I'm sure. Every balloon landed safely. Okay, so now I'll present this and say there were no passengers in this balloon.